Hold on, I'm still trying to make sure the picture is perfect. Okay. All right, so perfect picture. 10 years later. 10 years ago. I honestly don't remember what happened in the movie 10 years ago. I was 10 years ago. How old was I?
Many months later.
Come on, I'm not telling you that.
I'm gonna show you something beautiful. Hold up.
So perfect picture. This is Shelley from Pomantos 10 years later after, the first perfect picture in, was it 20? Yeah, 2010 and everything. So before I go on, I also want to just talk about this. That's the difference between Ghanaian movies and Nigerian movies. When Nigerian movies are showing class and, they're turning up the heat and everything. When they're turning it up, they turn it up all the way. And even if you refuse to notice it, you're definitely going to notice that Charlie and Crawford was got. They have money. They got it. But Ghanaian movies, even though they have the money, even though they're showing how rich these people are, it's subtle and classy. You notice it everywhere, but they don't rub it in as much as Nigerians do. And I think this is different ways of communicating what class is. But that's the difference. Nigerians turn up all the way. They make sure it is there in forms of cars, infrastructure, everything. Man, Ghanaian movies, they show you a little bit, but at the same time, you still notice that they have it, but they just don't rub it in as much. It's fascinating how time flies. I mean, in the beginning, it shows excerpts of the first film and giving us the chance to experience how much these actors have grown over time. Because, like me, honestly, I don't remember how they look like, but seeing them then and seeing them now, I'm like, oh my goodness, these actors and actresses have really grown. They've actually matured. 10 years is no joke. And if you really want to see what 10 years looks like, you should definitely check out this movie. It's on Netflix. You can check it out. You can see it and everything. I mean, I've always seen Jackie Appiah to be Jackie Appiah. What's his name? John Mello to be John Mello. The rest, Ajay Tanan to be Ajay Tanan, Lydia Forson to be Lydia Forson. But I've actually never paid attention to their growth in the industry. But this movie gives you the chance to see that. And I think in the beginning it was very important. And I think it made us have this nostalgic feel of how, the movie was 10 years ago. And that was very important. I liked it. It's called a perfect picture, and they quite literally take perfect pictures in this movie. What this movie actually focuses on is giving us a front row seat of letting us experience the lives of these characters after they have, been married or going about their other lives. The grass is not always green on the other side. Regardless of how good things look on the outside, there are definitely problems on the inside. And this movie gives us the front row seat experiencing all of that.
Pardon?
So classic example of ones no gets no ones. Now Shako and Ajay Tanan are struggling to have kids. Jackie Appiah and Chris Atto have 5 kids. Jackie Appiah wants more kids, Chris Atto doesn't, and because of that he's terrified of having intercourse with his wife. So in the beginning, I think Chris Atto rejected Jackie Appiah when she made advances towards him, and she guilt tripped him. So I would call it guilt tripping because most ladies do that. But regardless of that, now Chris Atto has to go out and apologize and make her feel good, and that led to one of the most scarring moments in my life: having sex in your child's room, having sex in your child's bed, of all places. Not in your child's bed. Upon all the places you could have had it at, not in your child's bed. I mean, what would you say when the child comes back to sleep in that bed? Oh my goodness.
I was alright. Ow!
Moving on to Lydia Forson and her boyfriend's relationship. But before I move there, I just want to know, are there any guys who would pick tea over some head? I'm just asking for a friend.
Go and ask your grandfather.
So today is a freak. She has some dominatrix vibes, and a sex tape has come out, which is threatening her current relationship and her reputation. After fighting tooth and nail to, get it out of the way, the sex tape officially leaks and it all blows up in her face. But fortunately for her boyfriend Sam, that has been holding back, actually digs that kind of stuff. So because of that, he actually opens up to her on his crazy side, and it's all woo banging for both of them. But a very important lesson that should be learned from that part of the movie is you should always try to confront your past before it confronts you. And when it does, it's definitely gonna blow up in your face. So confront it and get it out of the way so that you don't have any problems in your present. So more than halfway through the movie, all I kept seeing was trying to have kids, sex, freaky stuff versus, all of that. It was getting boring for me, but it took a whole full circle when I experienced another aspect of Chris Attor and Jackie Appiah's marriage, showing how business and work can come in the way of affecting your marriage. I think that was a very refreshing turning point, and that made me refocus my attention on the movie and everything. So that was a really good turning point, and I'll give that movie that. It didn't just focus on one thing, but it had different themes linking to each other, and I think that was really good. The OSTs in this movie were really good, and I remember my dad when I was watching that part of them. My dad was sitting next to me, and he was like just nodding to the high life music that was going on in the music. Now let's move to some of the things that I really didn't like in this movie. I'm not saying they are bad things or horrible things. They are just things that I found a little bit questionable. Number one is the props. Some of the props in this movie, they look too fresh out the box. I'll give you a quick example. In the beginning, when Ajay Anand went to the bathroom after the whole banter with Nashoko, when he went to the bathroom, the cosmetics in the bathroom were just so perfectly arranged. Even the toothpaste didn't even look like someone has even pressed it before. You understand? They just look too fresh out the box. They just look too much of a setting. They could have doubled with it a little bit for us to see that the things have been engaged or something for a while. Another problem that I have with it is I thought they were explaining too much. This movie is lengthy, 2.5 hours. I thought they were giving us too much information for something. I don't know if it's just me that probably I got what they were saying right from the get-go, but I felt the script was too explanatory in different ways. They say it one way, explain it in another, you understand? But they are not horrible things. They are just things that I felt that could have been said one way and they could have just moved on with it. Because this movie is quite lengthy, 2.5 hours, almost as long as Avengers Endgame or something like that. But hey, that's just by the way. Those are some of the things that I didn't really enjoy in this movie. But all in all, this movie was good. It focuses on friendship, it focuses on marriage, and it focuses on connections. It focuses very importantly on connections. Who you know. You should know a lot of people, because believe it or not, at a point in our lives where you either have connections or you have nothing else. Another thing I'll say is the roles in this movie, or let me say the actors, were not challenged well enough with the script. I think that these were roles that they have acted before, and even though this was a sequel, I still think that they should have they could have been challenged a little bit more, challenge their characters and roles a little bit more. I think they were too much in their comfort zone. They were just being themselves in a basic rom-com or something, you understand? But regardless, it was good, but I still think that they could have been challenged a bit more. With this being a sequel and everything, I think that there was a little bit more could have been done with their roles. Maybe I'll say this character took one step forward, but the rest were just themselves.
Will you keep quiet?
The actors that I would say stood out for me most in this movie was Didier Forson and this Nigerian actor Gideon Okeke. There's something about this guy's delivery and his aura, his confidence it's just something else. He's Perfect Picture 10 years later is streaming on Netflix. If you have not watched it, go watch it and let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and as usual, you can check out more videos right now.
Thank you for the word so sweet.